In the age of bronze and blood, when kings ruled by the sword and the gods whispered through storms, there lived a woman whose beauty would ignite one of the deadliest wars in history. Her name was Helen of Troy. They called her the face that launched 1,000 ships. But the story of the Trojan War was never just about beauty. It was about pride, power, love, and destruction. The winds howled across the kingdom of Sparta as King Menelaus stood proudly beside his queen. She was unlike any woman the world had ever seen. Golden-haired, graceful as moonlight, a beauty so legendary that poets believed even the gods envied her. But far away, beyond the seas, destiny was already moving. In the mighty city of Troy, Prince Paris was given a choice that would doom nations forever. One night, the gods themselves appeared before him. Hera offered power. Athena offered wisdom and victory in battle. But Aphrodite, goddess of love, offered something far more dangerous. "The most beautiful woman in the world," she whispered. Paris chose Aphrodite, and from that moment, war became inevitable. When Paris arrived in Sparta as a royal guest, the kingdom welcomed him with honor. Feasts filled the halls. Wine flowed like rivers. Music echoed beneath marble pillars. But behind the laughter, forbidden desire began to grow. Helen and Paris fell into a passionate love that would shake the world. Some say Helen willingly fled with him. Others believe Aphrodite enchanted her heart. Whatever the truth, one night they sailed across the sea together, disappearing into the towering walls of Troy. And when King Menelaus discovered his queen was gone, his fury became legendary. Across Greece, warriors answered the call for vengeance. Kings, princes, mercenaries, thousands of soldiers gathered under one banner. Among them stood the greatest heroes of myth: Achilles, the unstoppable warrior whose rage terrified; armies, Odysseus, the brilliant strategist with a mind sharper than any blade; Agamemnon, king of kings, hungry for glory. More than 1,000 ships blackened the sea as the Greek army sailed toward Troy. The world had never seen such a force. And above them, thunder rolled like a warning from the gods. The siege of Troy began. Massive walls rose over the city like mountains, impossible to break. Year after year, the Greeks attacked, and year after year, Troy endured. The beaches became graveyards. Flaming arrows filled the skies. Steel clashed against bronze. The screams of dying warriors echoed beneath burning sunsets. For 10 long years, the war consumed everything. Fathers lost sons. Kings lost kingdoms. Heroes lost their humanity. And still, Helen watched from the walls of Troy as nations bled because of her name. Then came the wrath of Achilles, when his beloved companion Patroclus was slain by the Trojan prince Hector. Something inside Achilles shattered. He became death itself. Clad in shining armor, Achilles stormed the battlefield like a god of war. Trojan soldiers fled in terror. And before the gates of Troy, Achilles faced Hector in a duel that would live forever in legend. The clash echoed across the city. Hector fought bravely for his people, for his wife, for his son. But Achilles was unstoppable. With one final strike, Hector fell, and Troy's hope died with him. Yet, even Achilles could not escape fate. During battle, Paris fired an arrow guided by the gods themselves. It struck Achilles in his only weakness, his heel. The greatest warrior of Greece collapsed into the dust, and the war entered its final chapter. The Greeks realized they could never conquer Troy by force, so Odysseus created a plan so cunning it would become immortal: a giant wooden horse. The Greeks pretended to surrender and sailed away, leaving the horse outside the gates of Troy as a gift. The Trojans celebrated wildly, against warnings. They dragged the horse inside the city. That night, while Troy slept beneath victorious cheers, Greek soldiers hidden inside the horse emerged silently into the darkness. They opened the gates, and hell entered Troy. Fire consumed the city, temples collapsed, homes burned. Screams filled the streets. The once glorious kingdom of Troy was reduced to ash beneath the crimson glow of dawn. Menelaus searched through the chaos until he finally found Helen, the woman whose beauty had started a war that killed thousands. For a moment, sword in hand, he stood ready to kill her. But when he looked into her eyes, legend says he could not do it. And so the war ended. Not with honor, not with triumph, but with ruins. The story of Trojan War became one of the greatest legends ever told, a tale where love and obsession destroyed empires. Even today, the name Helen of Troy still echoes through history, a reminder that sometimes the most beautiful things in the world can also become the most dangerous.